Welcome back to another episode. Let's jump right into it. So Carlee Russell, we talked about it earlier. We were going to wait to see. Her lawyer on behalf of her finally came out and admitted that the entire thing was a hoax. There was no baby. She was never kidnapped and she acted alone. Now, I will say, when people usually say they acted alone and take full responsibility, that is very rare in this day and age. So that means that there were probably more people in on it, but she's just gonna take the blame for it. Good for her. Now, I could care less why she did it. I'm sure that story will leak out. I just wonder, how do people get to that decision? Like, what ideas come together to go, aha, kidnap myself? And then with the sloppiness, like, if you really wanted to go through with a fake kidnapping, make it a little bit harder for people to follow the breadcrumbs. I mean, from the time that she made it back home to when the investigators started doing their job, I mean, it took like a day and a half to kind of figure out that something wasn't adding up. I mean, they just used cell phone data, checked their browsing history. This is low-level stuff you see on crime shows all the time. Somebody said her most recent browser history was, how long does it take for people to forget about you faking your kidnapping? In reality, though, it really does suck for those who were going to bat for her and defending her and had no idea that it was all fake. Like, that's embarrassing. You see a lot of people coming online that was going to bat for her. They're saying like they had no idea. And at a time where people were calling BS and you really thought it was a kidnapping, you're going to ride for somebody that you care about. So it's only right that you get that emotional and that invested. But to only find out that it was lies and it was fake, it's very unfortunate. In more recent news with Twitter, they're changing their name to X. Jamie Foxx recently finally spoke to his supporters and explained what he went through, claiming that he wasn't sure if he was going to make it out alive. He went on to say that he was very thankful that his family and friends kept everything under wraps and that he didn't want anyone to see him in the condition he was in. He would rather us see him in the entertaining, comedic performance condition that we're used to seeing him in. And after everyone was demanding him to speak, they are currently dissecting that video, claiming that Tyrone was cloned. And they wonder why people try to keep their personal business to themselves. For the life of me, I don't understand why people are thirsty for information they do not care about. Is that another byproduct, a negative byproduct of social media? It seems these days a lot of things can tie back to social media. I mean, with the Carlee Russell issue and the Juicy Smouye, it's like people are faking kidnaps for publicity, for attention, for whatever they think they might get out of it. They're going to an extreme circumstances and then doing the most lazy rendition of it. But back to people caring about stuff that they want. Like, what is with the knee-jerk reaction for people to immediately want to know all type of details, all type of information, all type of everything, kind of like in this Jamie Foxx situation? For what? Like, I don't understand what that does for somebody. And I'm really speaking from an honest place, because while I'm a huge Jamie Foxx fan, and I've said this in a previous video, I did not once think about what's going on or felt offended that he wasn't reaching out and he wasn't giving us information. Like, I figured eventually the truth would come out or some type of spokes thing would come out and we would move on. But like, there are people who feel entitled to information. I think that's what it is. The entitlement. Like, where does that come from? Because it's very common amongst people. Like, there's almost a demand. And if you don't give them what they want, they either make up their own story or they take it as disrespect or they start thinking that you think you're better than someone. It's like, why does that matter? Like, we have so much going on, or you would think people have so much going on in their own lives that they don't even have the mental capacity to be carrying other people's dramas or other people's stories. Like, for example, if I have friends or people that I know that have major milestones, they have kids or they get married or whatever, I only give congrats. I give as much as they're giving. Like, I don't really care, and it's not like a negative thing, but I don't really care to follow up and get the details because it's empty information. There's nothing you can do with it, and yet people still do it. I don't understand. And I also wanted to dive a little bit more into this Carlee Russell situation now that it's over, right? We thought it was a hoax. It was looking like it was fake. And then today they finally confirmed it. Another thing, it seems like the older I get, a lot of things I don't understand. I just don't understand. It's two things. One, why would you think faking a kidnapping would solve anything, right? That's the first thing. Two, if you're gonna go through with it, do you give yourself a month to plan it out? 2 months to plan it out, cover some ground, cover some bases, do a couple of trial runs. I mean, everything was right there to be found to come to the conclusion that this wasn't the real deal. But if you want to go deeper, obviously we don't know yet why she did it, or if it's out there, I haven't seen it. And she may not even tell us, right? But you have to think, what is going on in a person's life, whether good or bad, whatever the case may be, where that is a solution for them, right? Like, you had people all over the world, all type of law enforcement, really thinking that you're out here getting trafficked, that they were using bait. And then that's where I don't understand, like, is the baby stroller a real thing? Because then we started seeing stories like, that's another tactic, and you start seeing all these pictures pop up. Look at that stroller. Like, so is it a real thing, or was these things in response to her fake thing? So then, you know, like the internet, that's what's trending. So I'm going to go create a fake scenario. Like, look, it almost happened to me as well. It's like there's a domino effect of bullshit that's happening. And it really just exposed what's going on with this social media stuff. It's like, is it when things aren't going the way you think your life is supposed to go, then you have to make an extreme decision? I mean, and in her case, it's kidnapping herself. Some people murder people, you know, they murder women friends because they thought they were too pretty, like those groups of friends that went to Mexico and the one girl was getting beat up and she died. It's like, what is going on to where people have to destroy other people's lives or make people think something happened to them just to get the attention? Has social media raised the amount of attention needed for an individual? Because I'm completely opposite. Yes, I put my content out, but I'm trying to start a business. I have a goal set in mind. I'm not just willingly putting out stuff wanting attention. I actually don't really care to get attention from the wrong people. You should only want attention from the people that matter. But it seems like a lot of these stories and these cases are happening, and it all goes back to, I was trying to make my boyfriend jealous, or I was trying to do this, like something very simple and very basic. And it's almost like, you know, they didn't get hugged enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, it stems back to something so simple. I don't know what this girl's going through in her life. You know, a lot of people want to immediately go to mental health, and yeah, it's definitely mental health. I don't think it's the mental health that we, you know, champion and march for and raise awareness about. I think it's more mental health. Like, you're stupid. You're just dumb. You're just dumb. Like, it's just dumb. Like, it's just dumb. It's just dumb. You're stupid. And, you know, hopefully something happens. You know, you don't want to wish jail on anybody, but something, like, people have to be made an example of, man. And, you know, if we're going to have cancel culture and they're allowed to just pick things out of context and try to ruin people's lives and careers, then there should be another culture where we have flat, full-blown evidence, and they need to be made example of too. Like, I'm not going to say what should or shouldn't happen to her, but an example needs to be made that this is not okay. Because it's more than just her. She makes a dumb decision, but then you have all these police officers, all these investigators, all these family, friends, and then you got people all over the world feeling like, if I see a stroller out, is this the Carlee Russell thing? Like, you just implemented fear in the entire world. And I think internationally people were supporting it. I didn't follow the story moving forward. It would show up on my timeline here and there. And, you know, I have a rule of thumb with these days with these stories: wait to the end. There's going to be so much ups and downs and misinformation and real information. Just wait to the end. Just like old girl who thought she saw a shapeshifter on a plane, and turned out she was just drunk and lost her AirPods. But everybody was like, we're in the end times. We're in the end. It's like, no, it's just they're dumb people who are going viral. Just because you go viral doesn't mean you worked hard and you're successful and you have a platform. Stupid people can go viral too. And so, it's unfortunate for all those parties all those emotions, you know, people who may have been trafficked, people who may have been kidnapped, they've been triggered again because another woman, and all that, to find out that it was all fake. It's just horrible. So yeah, I really hope they make an example out of her, because it just shouldn't happen again. Thank you for listening to another episode of Improper Facts. Full audio episodes, whogottheaux.com, YouTube, Who Got the Aux Media, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Facebook, Who Got the Aux, one word, Twitter, or X, Who Got the Aux _. I will see y'all at the next episode. I'm out of here. Peace.